So, just very quickly, do you understand what a kilometre is?
No.
Well,
only work in miles, mate.
You only work in miles. How does that work then?
Miles per gallon, 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a weird hybrid in the UK, isn't it?
When do we ever use kilometres in the UK?
Yeah, but you understand what a kilometre is, right?
Oh yeah, I understand what it is.
Yeah, okay, good. So you've got one up on our topic today, and that is Logan Sargeant. Today, I thought we could discuss exactly what on earth is going on at Williams, and I think we need to have a discussion about Logan Sargeant.
Okay, you sound like parents.
So, well, he has been a naughty boy. He's currently top of the Destructors Championship. He has caused the most amount of damage, well, expected amount of damage, or estimated damage, I guess is what it actually is. During the season, he has failed to score a point, and it's not looking good for him at the moment, really, is it? And so I wanted to discuss your opinion and see what you think you would do if you were James Vowles, who came out today and released a little bit of a statement and just sort of said that they want him to succeed, they want to work with Logan, and they're trying to work with Logan, and they're trying to keep him in the car. Great transparency from them. But what would you do if you were James? Would you take in Mick or something like that? Do you think that Logan even deserves a seat in the first place? And then we'll look at available drivers and discuss whether or not you think they would make a good replacement for Logan. So first of all, do you think that Logan, based off of this year, do you think that he deserves the seat next year?
Does Logan bring money?
I don't know. I don't think that he's necessarily a pay driver, to be completely honest. So he has a brother called Daniel Sargeant, who is a former professional stock car driver, and his uncle is a energy and shipping magnate, so probably has a little bit of money, considering he owns a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate of private global enterprises. And yes, I am quite literally just reading off Wikipedia, to be honest with you. So he probably comes from a bit of money, yeah.
I guess is, from my perspective, two aspects. The first is we can only judge by what we can see. So I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know how he's learning, practicing, preparing himself. If I'm just going on what we see in qualifying and races, then I wouldn't have him there next season.
Yep, okay.
But also, you know, I think some people could be, that's a bit harsh and stuff like that. The Formula One is the best of the best.
Yeah.
And even if you're I don't know, a Nico Hulkenberg, right? You're still one of the best drivers in the world. And with only 20 spots, who knows if that goes to 22 or 24, there's no shortage of talent that you can bring in. So if it's not working, it's not like we can't get another Logan Sargeant. There's probably 20 of them lining up to join Williams, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think going back and looking at his records in previous series as well, he did very reasonably well in karting. He won multiple series and stuff like that. But then looking at his single-seaters, so in F4, Formula Renault, that sort of fun stuff, the best he's done is second place in Formula 4 in a UAE championship. And then he's also finished fourth, obviously, in 2022 in the F2 championship as well. So I think that he's not really come from a career or background where he's been absolutely knocking it out of the park in the race series that he's previously been as well. So you could also argue that he's underqualified to actually participate in Formula One as well.
Which was why I was wondering, does he bring money? But wasn't Nick De Vries very qualified? And look how much he struggled.
There is the other argument as well. You've got to look at Nick De Vries, who was a Formula E world champion once. Was it just the once, right?
So he's won Formula E from the 2020 to 2021 season. He won, and he won F2 in 2019, Formula Renault in 2014.
Yeah.
And so, he's quite a decorated driver, and look how much he struggled. And I think it's one of those things. The jump from any other series to Formula One is massive. Not just,
yeah.
And I guess maybe also outside of the track, the spotlight is on you. The media are on you. You've got to perform, right? There is no hiding. It's not like Man City or Liverpool, where if one player doesn't play well, the other 10 can cover for him. If you don't perform, you're out there for everyone to see, and then a couple of idiots on a podcast will debate if you should have a seat next year or not.
Yeah, true.
Unfortunately, Formula One it's just one of those environments where if you don't, you're out. It's as ruthless and as harsh as that.
Yeah, if you are the driver in a Formula One car, you are the conductor of the orchestra. You could have the best musicians in the house. Compare that to the best engineers on the grid, and you could have the best pit crew. You could have the best drummers in a oh my god, orchestra, Jesus. But at the same time, if you're unable to bring and harmonize everything together, then you're not particularly good. And I think that's essentially where it lies, is that he just doesn't seem to be bringing everything together as much as Albon. And I do feel as though he does have a slightly harsh comparison in Alex Albon as well, who, has a lot more experience in Formula One. He's finally free of the shackles of the Red Bull Drivers Academy as well, or the Red Bull Association, I guess. Although he's still sponsored by Red Bull. But I think that if you were to compare a rookie to Alex Albon, it's going to come out as a loss more often than not, which I do think goes against Logan for sure. But I think that being said, and we said this previously on the last episode, that he hasn't shown any moments of magic really. Yes, he was the only American in like the last 30 years or something stupid to reach Q3 during the Dutch Grand Prix. But that's it. That's the only notable thing that I can think of off the top of my head.
Tinfoil hat time.
No, okay, sure.
Do you think he's in the sport and some backdoor dealings? Let's just have an American driver in the sport because we're trying to grow in America. Got American races. We don't really care if he does well. Just we need an American driver in the sport. Top teams are like, we're not sacrificing a spot. Midfield maybe, but like the bottom teams could be like, yeah, if you just give us some money, we'll do it.
I think there's the potential. There's the potential for that to have happened with Drive to Survive and stuff like that growing massively. Obviously, that's a complete possibility, but I'm not entirely sure. I think also he's a part paid driver by the looks of things. Potentially, he brings in some sort of sponsorship money as well. But I mean, who knows? I'm really not entirely sure. But I think
it's very tinfoil hat. But
I think the only way really to tell is when the season of Drive to Survive drops and we see just how much he's featured in that. I think that's one of the ways that we have to go about it, and we have to try and see
Logan Sargeant season. Sorry, Logan Sargeant season.
Yeah, well, I mean that's one of the ways that we can really measure it, and I guess also it depends on how much they really push it during the US Grand Prix.
Also look at Sergio Perez, right? If you're not performing, the pressure is on. And, he said he's feeling the pressure and he's in a great car, but he's not bringing it together like Max is.
True. So, I mean, the Williams and the Red Bull are a little bit different, right?
No, but I think that even exaggerates the point even more, that even in a good car, a race-winning car, if you're not performing, all eyes are on you.
Still. True.
So it's Logan. He's a rookie. He's not got the best car. No, it doesn't matter. We're still going to criticize you, kind of thing. So it's not like he can hide behind the fact that he doesn't have the quickest car or he's a rookie. Because look at someone who's in the quickest car, who isn't a rookie.
Yeah,
and is pretty much getting the same amount of critique as he is.
Sure. Yeah, no, I completely see your point. So if you were James Vowles, what would you personally do? So let's say that I'm gonna say that money is a bit of a factor, but it is, but it isn't. You can't go ahead and sign Felipe Massa or somebody who's gonna, he's old and retired, but you can't sign like a huge name. But your most obvious options are available to you, do you try and stick it out with Logan for the rest of the season, for the next season? Do you even get rid of him right now? Like, what are you doing if you're James Vowles in terms of Logan Sargeant?
I would actually do what James Vowles said that he would do, which is just work with him, see if there's improvement, right? That's it. If he's got, how many races have we got left now? 5 or 6?
Yeah, it's not that many.
Let's just have a quick look, including Qatar. Yeah, it's 6 races. So he's got 6 races. He can think of it as a mini season. If his targets are like be within so much of Alex, try and get this, get a few points, I would keep him if he's showing improvement. If he's not showing improvement, then I would say let's amicably part ways and start looking at another driver.
Yeah, I think luckily for Williams, because they have quite a close partnership with Mercedes, I think that regardless of what they do, there's always the option to bring in Mick Schumacher.
Okay, Mick Schumacher's not coming back to Formula One.
I'm just saying, as an absolute last resort, let's say, for example, they after the last race of the season, they turn around to Logan and say, look, you need to score points today or you're gone. And then he doesn't, and for some reason every other driver is signed up. They do have that option purely because they have the close relationship. I'm just giving that as an option personally. From the outside looking in, I think that is absolute worst case scenario if they weren't to continue with Logan.
Yeah, I don't think Mick has got a seat or a future in F1, unfortunately.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You do have to remember that Mick was in a Haas.
Yeah, but then Mick got beat by K-Mag, who has been beat by Nico, and I just think that I don't know what he can bring to a team, kind of thing. Unfortunately, I love Mick; he's a nice guy, but in terms of just as a Formula One as a sport, just looking at numbers and results, I just don't think there is a space for him in that competitive way. Like reserve driver or development driver, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think there aren't quite enough seats for Mick to be part of the drivers on the grid, but I think there's the chance that he gets one more chance, but it's quite slim. That's my opinion anyway. But like I said, so you're essentially saying that you wouldn't go with any of the options available for now. You'd carry on with Logan until the end of the season and then reassess.
Yes.
And those options obviously being Liam Lawson, potentially for next year. I don't know how that would work contractually, but there we go.
I think he came out that he doesn't want to anyway.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he has some sort of deal where he is a test and reserve driver for both teams next season, and then he's guaranteed a seat in 2025. That's the rumor currently flying around as well. So
yeah, I think Horner's come out and said there is no deal. But,
I don't know. I've got no. I'm just repeating the rumor.
It's rumors, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a look because I only quickly scanned it. Christian Horner says Red Bull have not given Liam Lawson any guarantees about a 2025 F1 seat after missing out on the AlphaTauri drive next season.
Yeah. All right.
But
well, there we go.
Like you said, he's expected to spend a year on the sidelines as a Red Bull's reserve driver.
Yeah, which is exactly obviously the role that Albon took 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. So he's a candidate for 2025,
for 25,
but it's not a guarantee. Like you've got
his name's on the short list. He's got an interview. He's got first round interview.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
He's past the initial recruiter interview.
Yes, exactly.
Now he's interviewing with the company themselves.
Whether or not he gets an email back is a complete 50-50.
Sorry to say, but we filled the position with an internal candidate.
Exactly. And I think to give you my opinion on the whole situation, I would also do what James has exactly said and just said we'll try and support him. And also he did say that, for example, in the weekend in Japan, Alex did have a few upgrades on the car, which Logan didn't, and Logan was staying sort of up to pace, especially in Q3 as well. So, maybe it is something that comes with time and stuff like that. And also in Qatar this weekend, the runoff areas are quite big, so the chances of him smashing up the car are quite low. So there's potentially the chance of him having a decent weekend again this weekend as well. But I do think that obviously you're always going to be firstly compared to your teammate, and it just isn't quite hitting at the moment, which is a real shame. Do I think that Logan has the sauce? Not really. He's not really shown it so far this season. I think they should try and carry on and maybe bring out some sort of level of performance and see how they get on. Obviously, I don't know the financials behind it. But I mean, if you're Williams and you can now see that you've got a car that is capable of scoring points, and you look at the other drivers available, the driver market isn't exactly chocked full of drivers at the moment, really. You've got Mick Schumacher, you've got Liam Lawson, and you did have Daniel Ricciardo-ish, who's now completely disappeared. Then you'd have to start looking at different series, or potentially look at F2. So you could have somebody, like Frederick Vesti or Duhan, who is technically an Alpine driver, but I don't think that, Alpine aren't exactly the best at contracts. I'm sure there's some sort of loophole in there. I'm pretty sure you could probably get him in the car. But you know what I mean? You go for an F2 driver who shows some promise, which is also another big gamble as well. I think that if Logan doesn't bin it between now and the end of the season, and looking at Vegas and how small those gaps are and how close those walls are, there's a big chance there. But I think if Logan keeps his nose clean and hopefully doesn't cause too much more damage to the car of the rest of the season and shows that he is actually improving, I think that because of the risks associated going with like another rookie or potentially another driver, they will probably just stick with him through default. But I would imagine that halfway through the year next year, if he really isn't showing much, then they will have to change drivers. That's my opinion. I think that you see how he gets on. If he bins it again another couple of times and you just financially cannot keep up with the amount of damage that he's causing, honestly, at that point, you might as well get someone like Frederick Vesti in. You might as well. He's a Mercedes junior driver. Why not? Type thing, or at least get him in for a test at Abu Dhabi and see how he gets on. And he's also doing the FP session in Mexico for Mercedes as well. So I'll be watching that intently. But that's my opinion on the situation. But I thought it was definitely worth chatting about, purely because it is the last seat available on the grid for next year. And let's be honest, like we've said before, he's not set the world alight. And trust me, this is in no way of us, and I'm speaking for the both of us now, Ash. Okay. This is in no way us trying to essentially shit all over him. We both want him to succeed. We don't want to see him, smash the car up or anything like that. We want to see him scoring points. We want to see him doing well in his Formula One career. But at the same time, I personally love Williams and want to see them do well as well. So I want them to have two drivers who are capable of scoring decent points, especially considering where they were a few years ago as well. So that's my perspective, is that I would love to see them a bit further up and like fighting for like 7th to 10th, maybe 5th on a random day when, everything goes a bit crazy. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that's just my opinion on the topic. But yeah, does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. That's it.
That we absolutely will. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, the last seat. Who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll wait until the end of the season. Maybe we will hear something in COTA, and who knows? Maybe we'll hear something at the US Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, just like. He's got a chance now. He has to take it.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
I do.
We handed you a lifeline, James. Like, look, we're going to help you.
Yeah.
We're going to work with you. It's in your hands now, and that's all anyone can really do for Logan right now. It's up to Logan.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he is on the final straw almost, and yeah, I guess we'll just.
Otherwise, there'll be a ton of Wolverine memes coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see exactly how he gets on. But yeah, that's about it. I just thought it would be nice to do a little bit of a conversation about something a little bit less specific, racing review or anything like that, and talk about the contract situation for sure. And I wanted to know your opinion, Ash. So.
Cool. Yeah. Mine's the same as James, so just give me that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
Give me
as
that
James,
William team principal job.
I'm sure you're very well qualified for that. Or we could do it like there's like if you don't watch Netflix, do you particularly?
I do sometimes.
Oh, okay, well, there's a show that my girlfriend watches called Sailing the OC, and there are these two slightly creepy brothers who they're twins, and they
Your
sell
girlfriend
property.
watches this.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, I definitely don't love it. But so we could do that, like two guys doing the same job. So we just split the role, and we take over his job. Easy. You see Williams right back
We
at the
can have
front.
just like James. You can just be like the camera. The face.
Yeah, exactly.
Face of Williams.
Exactly. We know what to do. We'll be fine.
All right, Logan. Let's see. Are you gonna fly like the eagle? Let's see.